Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with DR Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message. I just want to say, if you're new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. And for those of you who return back, I want to say welcome back. Keep in mind that these energies could be happening right now, could be happening a few days from now, a couple of weeks from now. It could be happening even a month from now. Keep that in mind. It just depends on your location on the planet, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, all that other good stuff. Just keep in mind that the energy is fluid, so it just depends on your location. Anyway, and for those of you who do not know, I am an intuitive, clairvoyant Hayoka empath who receives divine prophetic messages. I also receive intuitive messages. I also receive intuitive messages through music as well too. So sometimes you will see me post an intuitive message that God or Spirit is wanting me to post to give you guys a message as well as a song that's playing for you guys to go and actually look at the lyrics of the song, because there's obviously a message that's meant there for you. It's most important to use your intuition, because that may apply to some and may not for all. Anyway, and for those of you who do not know, I am a Reiki master teacher. I am also a Reiki practitioner as well too. So anyway, with all that being said, let's get into this message real quick. So I have three quick Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so actually there's oh God, what is this? So I actually have I numbered it wrong. 2, 3, 4. I actually have 4 messages. Actually 5 messages. Anyway, my bad, I numbered them wrong. Okay, so I have 5 messages. Let me get these messages in here real quick. Okay, so let me start from here first. Okay, so I'm going to start from here. So this first dream that I had, this came in a form of, there was somebody who was across the street, and myself and as well as my daughter, we were kind of like walking or whatever. So as we were walking, it's like this lady was yelling from across the street, and I didn't see anybody else around, so I assumed she was just talking to one of us. So, you know, like when somebody tries to get somebody's attention, they say something out loud and you automatically just assume or think that they're talking to you. So she was like, she was saying something from across the street. And then I was just like, you know, and it's like I got the energy like she kept doing this on a continuous basis, like every time she saw us, every time she saw us, every time she saw us, to the point that one day I just decided to say something to her and approach her and basically ask her what is her problem, should I say. So on this particular day, with her, it was almost like I kept hearing the energy haggler, if I'm saying that right. You know how a comedian gets haggled by somebody from the audience or whatever. So anyway, take it how it resonate. But anyway, so the scene switched when I decided that I was going to stand up to her and say something to her. The scene had switched to her house. So inside her house, I asked her, I said, well, what is your problem with me? In other words. And then her response was, oh, don't pay me no mind. I'm sick. Although she did have like some gook in her eyes. And I kind of got the feeling like I kept hearing the word like blind in some sort of way. Which is so weird because I knew she could see, but again, she had all this gook in her eyes. You know, sometimes when somebody has like a virus in their body and you got the stuff that gets crusty around your eyes, and her eyes kind of look like that in a sense. And I kind of got the feeling like, you know, the representation of the gook in her eyes was more so that she's not able to see the truth. In other words, you know how there's a scripture in the Bible that tells you to take the plank out of your own eye before you try to go and take the plank out of your brother's eye. In other words, that judge not unless you two be judged, in a sense. So she was giving me a hard time. I decided to approach her. When I approached her, the scene switched, like I said, into her house. So when I asked her what is her problem with me, she was like, oh, don't pay me any mind. I'm sick. So as I said before, I saw the gook in her eyes that was letting me know that she was blind to the fact of some of the things that she was doing. And she didn't, meaning it's a deeper issue. And I say that to say because codependency kept coming up. In other words, she does what she does in order to get attention from people, in other words. So what had happened was, as we was in her house, I noticed she had some family members sitting on the couch, but as I was talking to her, they not once even intervened, you know, on her behalf, like this is normal behavior for her in a sense. And it's like they just like, I guess I got the feeling like they was just fed up with it because they was sitting down, so they weren't going to do anything about it, because I guess they figured like she does this all the time. So, but again, it's like they weren't paying us any mind as I was talking to her. So after that, there was somebody else who came into the room or came to visit her, and she became childlike. So once I really saw her becoming in a sense of being childlike, that was letting me know she is being codependent. It's like an addictive type behavior of being codependent and being addicted to getting attention from other people. And when they're not getting this attention from other people, it's almost like that's when the acting out starts to happen. So I don't know who that message is for, and I don't know who needs to hear that. But once the other lady walked into the room, the other lady, it's like the other lady was kind of feeding her energy in a sense. This lady wasn't calling her on her BS like I was calling her on her BS, but the lady was more so pacifying her actions in a sense, and allowing her to be codependent on her in a sense, and so much as, you know, just giving her a hug and just acting like, oh, that's just normal behavior from her, and just keep it moving and not basically hold her accountable in a sense. Well, I say all that to say that she walked away with this lady once I had approached her. So I say all that to say, if some of you guys have been finding yourself dealing with somebody who's basically been kind of giving you a hard time, you know, just know that they obviously have an issue, and that issue is very rooted, very deeply down in their DNA. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, when I got the feeling like she kept doing this to me, and it wasn't until I stood up to her that she stopped. So I don't know who this message is for, who needs to hear this, but if somebody's been giving you a hard time and you feel like they've been kind of, you feel like they've been kind of haggling you in a sense, or just giving you a hard time or whatever, you know, the key is to confront them, in other words, to make it stop. Because I know this, like the bullying was kind of going on like in several other dreams that I had as well too. And that's almost what it's coming in the form of, because some of these people don't even realize their behaviors, their thought process, as well as their actions, or whatever the case may be. Because like I said, the lady had gook in her eyes, so therefore she wasn't able to see the truth, in other words. So I say that to say that, again, some of you guys have been, and I'm also hearing Spirit say that some people are aware of the things that they do. And of course, those are going to be the ones who purposely know what they're doing. And then you have those who don't realize what they're doing because their issues are stimulating from their childhood, should I say. Some sort of codependency behavior that they develop, you know, from their childhood. But anyway, so again, once I confronted her and the other person came and basically was pacifying her needs, in other words, she basically left with that person, in other words. So this person is always looking for a host. This person is also looking for somebody who's always going to pay them some attention, or pay them, what's the word? They're always going to be looking for the next victim. Thank you, Spirit. They're always going to be looking for the next big victim. Oh, thank you, Spirit. What I'm hearing is, you know how like you know how like a vampire needs blood in a sense, and this is just an example. Like they're always looking for their next victim who they can draw blood out of, in a sense. And it's almost like this is what this person does and have been doing, and they will continue to do it until they take the gook and stuff out of their eyes, if that makes sense to you. In other words, take the blindfolders off, because that's all it is. That's what the gook is. It's blindfolded them from being able to see the truth, and allowed them to be able to see their patterns, and allow them to see their allowing them to be able to see that their issue is a deep-rooted issue that needs to be dealt with, and that they're going to keep finding themselves in this cycle. Well, I'm here to tell you, because I hear Spirit saying it is not your job to fix this person. It is this person's own sole job to get the help that they need and want the help. So it is not your job to fix them. But anyway, so I don't know who needs to hear that. I hope that was helpful. And I'm also hearing Spirit say too, you know, even if it's like a family member, you know, sometimes you just got to let people hit rock bottom in order for them to be able to see the truth, hear the truth, understand the truth, and more importantly, to be able to acknowledge the truth. So I say all that to say that we're not in the business of fixing anybody anymore. You know, you can give people, just like I'm sharing the information with you, I'm giving you the warning of what's to come, what some of you guys may be dealing with, and it's up to you how you choose to handle it. You can go left or you can go right when it's being presented to you, if you find yourself in that situation. But Just know that it's going to be a continuous cycle. As I said, it's going to be a continuous cycle of being on the same old hamster wheel of trying to help and save the same individual person. And it's not going to be until they actually want to help themselves and do the necessary work to get the help that they need in order to get off that hamster wheel. But again, it's not your job to take them off the hamster wheel. It's their job. Anyway, so moving right on to the next dream. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but I did hear in the dream that something about if you were on a job working very, very hard, something about work labor force. I know the work labor force usually has laws and stuff set in place, and if people violating those laws, sometimes when you go into a company and sometimes they have the poster, because I think they were required by law at that time. I don't know if they still do it or not, but some places you would go, they would have like the workforce labor laws on the back telling you if you're a certain age, you can't work so many hours and so on and so on. And I don't know who needs to hear that message, but all I just heard was workforce labor. So if you're on a job and you feel like they're overworking you, and I will definitely tell you this, thank you, Spirit, because Spirit is bringing this to my attention too. I've definitely been noticing some of the stores have been having less workers there, and especially like in Costco's, because Costco's is no longer opening up like they would, like probably like at 9:30 for the senior citizens. Like now they just open up at 10 o'clock. And it just so happened that I asked one of the employees, I was like, well, what's going on? I was like, are y'all shortage of people? And I didn't need her to tell me that because I could see that, but I just wanted her to confirm what I already knew. It came in a form as if, they're not, what was it? It came in a form as if they were laying some people off in a sense, but then now they, I guess, have extra people doing more work in a sense. So anyway, that's just an example, because like I said, I've seen some stores kind of doing that or whatever the case may be. And that's why I told you guys before in that dream that I had, it said if you work outside, it's not really believable, in other words. So if you're looking at the people when you go out to these stores and just notice that like some places there will be some shortages, some of these things are just illusions. They're making it seem like they're functioning very, very well when they're behind the scenes, they're cracking, and everything is, the foundation is cracking is what I'm hearing. So keep that in mind as well too. Anyway, so this next message, okay, so the next message was where was that? Okay, I heard somebody inquiring about a police report. So I don't know who that message is for or who needs to hear it. I don't know if something happened with somebody, but I don't know if maybe you want a police report or if you're someone, because it felt like it was an office and somebody was telling somebody in the office, I need that police report. So I don't know if somebody's pulling up a police report on somebody else because maybe somebody else is requesting that information, or I don't know if maybe this office is asking for a police report because some of you guys may find yourself in a situation to where a police report is being pulled up. I don't know if you have to go to court or not, but all I just know is that I heard somebody saying something about pull up a police report. So take it how it resonates. Keep that in mind though. So this other dream was about, actually, I'm gonna start with this one first. Okay, so this dream came in a form where it says that some of you guys have been in school for some time now, trying to perfect their spiritual gifts, and then where they have been learning, practicing, testing their gifts before God basically takes them and release them. Okay, so I don't know who needs to hear this, and I don't know if this is applying to I feel like this one is applying to myself. But anyway, so as I said before, some of you have been in school, and I believe this one is going back to that dream I had when I said there was going to be like a divide where I saw those people were sitting in a car, everybody was facing one direction, and it's like they were all sitting there at a light in traffic, like they was being held up purposely, while the other people on the other side of the street, they was just living their lives, like how they normally do, going out to eat and everything else, and just functioning or whatever, while other people was just sitting there. So anyway, it was just coming in a form for any of you guys who have been just doing things behind the scenes. You're like just learning and practicing and perfecting certain things behind the scenes, and testing things out and testing your gifts out. Basically before God takes and release you, before God basically takes and release you basically to the world, for the world to see. So what I'm hearing, what I'm hearing spiritually is, even if you're someone who's just been kind of showing your little gifts off here and there, showing your talent off here and there, and one particular person just came to mind for me, like I've just been kind of seeing them evolve in a sense, with the various things that they're doing, just seeing them evolving, should I say, and I got a couple of people in mind that's coming to mind, just people that's just been perfecting things behind the scene and testing things out and working hard, doing this and doing that. So basically, I just want to let you know that God is just giving you that time to do what you need to do before he actually, even though people see you now, but really before he really opens up the floodgate is what I'm hearing, to allow more people to see you. Anyway, so take that how it resonates. So if you're somebody who's been in school, learning something new, doing all that stuff, that message is for you. So this next message is somehow related to the one I just told you about. This last message is, some of you are being held back purposefully until you learn the lessons. So if you are someone who have been, as I said before, sitting back and trying to perfect your gifts and practice, test, and do this and do that, and, basically before God opens you up. And then there's those group of people that I'm also hearing who has been on that hamster wheel. So you have the two groups of people, the one who's been on the hamster wheel, going in the same old cycle, and then you have those over here who've been sitting back and practicing and doing this and doing that. So just know that if you feel like you're being held up, it's being done purposefully until you learn the soul lesson, because God can't allow you, it's like high school, God can't allow you to graduate and move on to the next level unless you learn everything that you need to learn in order to move on to the next grade level, or even that alone, graduate from school. You got to have so many PE classes, you got to have so many science class, history class, English class, all that stuff, electives. You got to have all the credits that you need in order to be able to pass and move on. So if you find yourself on a hamster wheel, keep finding yourself dealing with the same old situation, the same old circumstances, the same old situation with peoples is what I'm hearing. If people keep approaching you in the same way and you keep falling for the okie dokes, in whatever shape or form that it is, whether you're looking for a friend, whether you're looking for, somebody outside of yourself. And I say that to say, if you're looking for love, just because somebody giving you attention does not necessarily mean that person is the right person for you. That doesn't necessarily mean that person is going to give to you. It could necessarily mean that person is just a taker. And you have to keep that in mind as well too. Just because something comes to you in a form of being nice, kind, and coming in a sweet manner does not mean that, it won't at you later. So I say all that to say, you have to keep that in mind as well too. Like, that's one thing. Just because something looks very cute and innocent and sweet, and even like little I give you a classic example. Like the other day I was walking my dog and I saw like a little caterpillar on the ground. I think it's a caterpillar. Yeah, it was all fuzzy and and my son brought it to my attention and he was like, look. And I looked and I was like, what? And it almost didn't even look like a caterpillar, because it almost looked like an albino caterpillar. So I looked, I was like, oh, I almost didn't even see that. And then my dog, she has this habit of going, trying to rush up to it really quick. So I say all that to say, I had to pull her back because she does that a lot. Because I was like, my intuitive side just say, you don't know how these little creatures are going to how to respond, or how they put up their defense mechanism in order to protect themselves. I lied to you not. This little caterpillar, when she lunged to her, when I pulled her back, that caterpillar was sitting like this. I was like, what? the caterpillar was literally like in a C shape. I was like, oh my God, like seriously? I was like, look at him, or look at her, whatever. And I told my son, I said, look, did you see that? So when my dog went to lunge, the caterpillar obviously went into protective mode to protect itself. So, but it's funny, I guess it was maybe his legs that somehow protects him or whatever, because he was like, put him up, put him up, put him up. But anyway, I say all that to say, and I told the caterpillar, I said, we come in peace, we don't mean to harm you. And I sent it a little bit of Reiki, and then all of a sudden he put his little palms back down on the ground, and he, you know, continued on. And I was like, oh my God, did I just see that? So again, I say all that to say, just because something comes in a form that looks nice, you know, and friendly, and like, oh, you know, you want to go pick it up and all that other stuff, just be mindful of that, because you don't know how it's going to react, you know. Yeah, keep that in mind as well too. That's why it's so important to use your intuition. So anyway, with all that being said, y'all, I'm going to end it here. And I just would like to say also that you guys stay blessed, stay beautiful. Remember to hit that like button or the subscribe button. That way that you will receive updated so that way that you receive excuse me, y'all, so that way that you receive updated message. That way you will receive my updated messages. I'm sorry, we must be coming up on Mercury retrograde. That way you will receive my updated messages as I post them. That way you'll be aware of the spiritual 4-1 of what's going down in the spiritual world. So that way you have knowledge and you know how to navigate accordingly. Anyway, with all that being said, you guys stay beautiful, stay sweet, and much love, much light. Bye.